Turn that up a little. All right, there we go. Where's my chat? My chit chat. Chit chat. Chitty chat chat. Where's this gonna go? Will you go back here? Oh, will you just sit there? There's no way I'm gonna be that lucky. Nope. God almighty. Oh, come on, dude. Cut a guy some fucking slack. I don't know where the hell my fucking microphone cabling is. Where did that thing go? I do wish. I need a longer fucking microphone cable. I need to just be better. This guy's just gotta fucking get better. But how do you do that? Cord in my lap. Where's my, oh my goddamn command strips at? My kingdom for a command strip. Let me do this. Is this thing? Can we make this happen? Can we stop trying to make fetch a thing? What if I just do this? Even that is awesome. Is it though? No, I need it to be on the other side of this. Go in the middle. Victoria, how are we? There we go. That feels more right. That feels morest rightest. Daddy got to ice his shoulder. Who's saying hey? Who said hey in my chat? Denise. How are you, Denise? What else we got going on today? And Mark, welcome to the TikTok. Who else is checking in on Facebook, huh? Let's get a little roll call going. Let's find out where all my peeps and my squeeps. The beeps, the creeps, and the bleeps. James Dowdy. You know, we have this whole saying in Texas, they might have heard it in Tennessee. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Fool me, can't get fooled again. Fool me, can't get fooled again. A high computer load detected. Uh-oh. My computer's shooting ropes. What is your high load? Your audio and video. You're a fucking webcam. And then it was supposed to give me tips and tricks. Oh, here it goes. Close other applications. You're literally the only thing open. Settings and other applications. CPU underclocking detected. Try cooling down your computer to avoid lowering performance. This computer has been on for 30 seconds. It's also the same computer I use every night. I love that you're able to be here, Denise. I'm just not. Don't listen to this part. Don't listen to this part. That part. First off, let's get us going with this. We gotta get Big Al with the following of the live creator, and for that we say. Hell yeah, Big Al. Hell yeah. Harry Bowles. But Harry. See what he did there? It's like he's naughty, but he's not naughty. It's a little delayed. Getting that out on the stream. Sorry. Everyone knows it's windy. Oh, that's good. Don't give the people food, and then they'll start to riot. Must be great being fucking rich. You know what I mean? You just make all the decisions for poor people and Bradley Lorenzo has entered the chat. What's up, Bradley? Let's see. I gotta see this guy. Show me the girls. Yeah, good. Don't show me the picture. Why would you? What's going on for the weekend, other than the College World Series around here? Why is that what you got from that? Looking like Tasia. Tasia Blue. That's a pretty name, Tasia. Welcome in. Cappy. Hey, Jack, what's up? Who is the one? I don't know the lyrics. Everyone knows it's Wendy. Missed out on my opportunity to replace my sneakers today. Do people still call them sneakers? Sneakers seems not right. Sneakers sounds lame. But then like tennis shoes does. Like why? Riddle me that. Why is like the branding of all shoes that are used for any kind of athletics tennis shoes? Hmm? Joshua Loper, do you have the answers? I don't know if you do. I don't know if you do. Google Docs. That's just Nelson. Show stories. 6, 1, 2, 25. Century Gothic. 14 point. And bold. Everyone knows it's Wendy. Is it Wendy or is it Wendy? I think it's Wendy. Don't bury the lead. 25. Who is the man with tattoos for his kitty? Everyone knows it's Nelly. That really does look like a dick from that angle. God damn it. Son of a bitch. Oh. Oh, that's cold as fuck. That's cold as fuck. Mm. We're just not. I don't know. The podcast steadily is growing in numbers, but the live broadcasts are not. So I've got to do some like analyzing this weekend. I got to do something. Something's got to give. What are you doing, Adam? I thought you joined. Then he was gone. Adam was here and then he was gone. Chupa 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 chupas. Paste. Fuck yeah. Fuck your chick. What's your name? Fuck your chicken strips. Fuck your chicken strips. Oh, I love that. Fuck your chicken strips over in on Yo, Harv. Harv. I've been been so locked up today. I haven't cut up any video. Oh Lord. Could be because it's summer. Summer. Like it's a hell of a time to try and launch a fucking radio show. Because summer is consistently the worst time for broadcast. That's why all the TV shows are. So I got to apply that. So this way, by the time school gets back in, I'll have a lengthy catalog that I'll be able to rely on. Welcome back, fuck you chicken strips. Fuck you chicken strips. I love that. Dustin Beckenhauer. Ow. I don't like this. Okay, that's good. I like that. Dustin, things are good. Things are R. You know what I mean? They're probably more R than they are just necessarily good or bad. God, am I coming down with something? Summertime sadness. That's what I got. Right? Call it seasonal depression. That's supposed to be only in the winter. When you got it like me, they call it chronic. But there's something else I wanted to say to this. United 7, the river needs Nelson in the morning. I don't know if anybody needs Nelson. Hopefully you guys do, you know? I put that on so tight. I could probably take this ice out. summertime sadness. Oh my God. Yes. Same water jar. Yeah, you know what is weird about it though? And I don't understand why it works as well as it does. Because it's insulated except right here. Do you get that? Does yours sweat right just at the top here? Like I'll pick it up and I'm like, why is it? They're supposed to be insulated, but it's like this is all plastic or whatever. Yeah, it's so strange. But then, like you said, like even like a tiny amount of ice, like it could be floating in water. Like what I like to go do is I go to QT. Love QT. And one of the things QT does, like a lot of them do this, I'm sure, but I just go to QT and I love them, is you can fill us up for free with water, right? And I like the QT ice because it's that crushed ice, the Sonic ice, the Taco John's ice, the whoever, insert the place you would always go to get the small crushed ice, right? So I'll fill that up with ice and then fill it up with water. And then I'll go put more water into it later after I drank this whole thing down. And so there'll be a bunch of water in it the next day and just remnants of ice. But 2 days later, you'll go back and go, how am I getting chunks of ice again? And yet, sweating the entire time through the top of the cap. Making me thirsty. Making me thirsty. And then I tell you what, then the thing that really pisses me off is I forget to screw the cap on, and then I sit it down. I haven't heard the new I Prevail. I'll have to go listen to it. In your summertime sadness. What else we got here? Oh, they turned. They went heavy, huh? Because they didn't want it to become a TikTok band. Oh, what? uh, it's called Violent Nature. All right, dude, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out. What's it all about? Come on. Too many goddamn computers going at once here. David Canoon. don't know what this acronym means. Apple. What's WWDC? Worldwide Developers Conference. Sounds good. I'll check it out. If I had to compare it to a heavy metal band, I'd say it's like the old Five Finger Death Punch. I can get down with that. I can definitely get down with that. Lastly, Apple unveiled at this year's. Revolution. It's a question, but it's also a statement. What up to with all the computer monitors? So I've got TikTok is here because that's got to be on its own computer because TikTok makes it a. It doesn't matter. Just TikTok has to be there. Okay. And then I've got my actual computer that is running the stream for YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and recording the video that I'll use to cut up later. And then I have my PC here. And the PC is where I run my sound effects from. It's all because I'm working with like 3 6-year plus old pieces of equipment. The shit, the tower is probably 15 at this point. That it runs Windows 10 is amazing. So that's a no. That'll be a no. Snarky. I like that. That's a good one. Good job, Nelson. um, That's good. 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 Das gut. Das good. 18. No, 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 no. Don't do that. You find the quick key for what changes the font size on Google. Don't forget to check the song out. I'll ask you next time I see it live. Have a good one. Yeah, Spartan style. Spartans! 6, 1, 2, 2, 5. Shaw. Copy, paste. Oh. Come. Doop. Doop, 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 doop. Doop, 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 doop. Really? You missed it? You missed one, or did it, or TikTok filter it? Missed one what? I don't know what I was saying. Oh, I missed a text. Hold on. Let me see. Let me go back up. Maybe I did miss one. Then TikTok filtered my first comment. Oh, spell it funny or something. I don't know. TikTok, stop filtering my fucking feed, man. I think honestly that since Facebook bought out TikTok, that like they're just trying to run TikTok into the ground so that you have to come back to Meta. Because I think they're actively making it worse. They did. Yes, they did. Why then? Listen, okay. Meta does not have a stake in Facebook, but that's why all of a sudden, all of this like Facebook garbage and Facebook contact shit is all in the settings that wasn't there before. Come on, man. I mean, I understand that some of it's a little conspiracy theory stuff, but Meta for sure has some kind of secret stake in TikTok. And I don't buy it. All right, Adam. Okay. Okay, Adam. Here we go. All right. Show sheet update. Template. I mean, make a copy. Making copies. Don't do that. Take that. Put that there. Take this. Like this. episode is this? 25. Episode 25. All right. Mixer. What else? What else did I have going on in my life today? What did I do today? What was the last thing I texted myself? CVS. Playlist. Drama. Come on, man. Under that movie. Ample. All right. Can't believe I completely forgot about that. Show me the bracket, dude. Here we go. Is this it? Show me the sketch. Show me the sketch, dude. Show stories. And there's gonna be so much money that comes in. still going? Yeah, it's so disgusting. Copy. There we go. Making copies. 06. 12. 25. Oh, maybe nobody watches the fucking show because it's lame for the first hour while you're streaming and just doing show prep. But then I see other people just sitting and doing work on social media and everybody loves it. Maybe I should go be a fucking nurse. Maybe that's my calling. Do best. I don't need this open anymore. I don't need this open anymore. Doesn't matter. Are you fucking kidding? Like, what the hell? Oh, I hate these computers. I just hate them. Hate you, hate you, hate you, hate you, hate you. Oh, yeah, I still need that open here. Well, I think that's about everything. We really can start the show. Beverly Wise, 25. Flana flow. Flana nana flana. I don't know that I knew there was a sequel. Is that a man I hear? Hi, buddy. I don't know that I knew they made sequels to that either. That's crazy. That's so crazy, man. It's so crazy. Oh, Dustin, I didn't even see you sent Tiny Dinies. God almighty. Talking to a guy who's not on the stream anymore. Are you still very sweaty? You're so sweaty. You're very much sweaty. Your version of sweaty? Were you working? What? I said, were you working? And you went, yeah, went for a open the house. Oh. Yeah. Blah, 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 in the house. What's up, Vanessa? Before I head to Club Bed featuring DJ Pop 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 Pillow on the ones and twos. Love you in Georgia. All right. This used to be a radio show. Presents. That's Just Nelson. Episode 25. I'll never not clack it. Meaty clackers.
Ladies and gentlemen, the show is about to start.
And now, it's Nelson time. It's Nelson time. It's Nelson. It's Nelson time. Oh, if you want to know what's going on, it's Nelson time, yeah. It's Nelson.
Indeed.
It's Nelson time. Oh, yeah.
What else would it be?
That's just Nelson.
Yeah. That is Just Nelson. If you're not into contractions. That's Just Nelson. That's how you can find the show on social media. If you're not already watching it live at night, maybe you're consuming it on Apple and Spotify, and we love you for that too. Hello? Right. A little delayed there. Working really diligently on launching that'sjustnelson.com for you as well. Oh, 402-302-1005. Man, I'm already exhausted, and I haven't even had to do anything for it. And I tell you what, maybe the worst time in Omaha, Nebraska is here. And that is the College World Series. I know everybody loves the baseball. Oh, the baseball! Baseball is a garbage sport. Okay? I said it. I don't care. I don't care. Don't ask me to watch baseball on TV. Now, that's regular season. When it comes to postseason stuff, yeah, I'll catch myself watching a World Series game here and there. Live baseball, I actually love going to that. Just because I don't have to, you know why I like live baseball? Because you don't have to pay attention to the baseball. There's so much more. Baseball's like, oh, we got stuff for kids to do. We've got beer gardens. We've got this. Baseball is only a sport that should be consumed in person, except when the championship round of that has to descend into my city. And luckily for me, I don't do a lot of business on that side of town. But God almighty, you got to avoid that area. It happens in downtown Omaha, so it's Charles Schwab Field. It used to be at a place called Rosenblatt. Rosenblatt was the big old, you know what I mean, triple D's, okay? Rosenblatt was where it was at. You had the little Zestos ice cream right there next to it. And then what was like Starsky's? Starsky's was, I think it's Starsky's, was the closest beer in town to the College World Series. And then, of course, a bunch of money came into things. Big Zoo came in to play. One of the two things that Omaha really has, that's just a ring that fell off my hand. Two things that Omaha really has and can sing about, okay? One is the College World Series, all right? Because it is, I mean, it's a premier sporting event. And two is we have the best zoo in the world. And people hear that and they go, come on, Omaha, Nebraska is the best zoo in the world. Isn't the best zoo in where? Say it. Say where the best zoo is. Say where the best zoo is and then go Google how much better the Henry Dorley Zoo is than the San Diego Zoo. Because I know that's what you're going to say. I'm at San Diego. No. San Diego, no, is what I tell you. But Rosenblatt was like a legendary, like, baseball, what do you call it? Field, I guess? Complex? That's how little I know. I hate baseball. But it's fun to go and see that for like 30 seconds. And then if you have to like regularly be in that part of town, it's a nightmare. Like I haven't been to a game at the new stadium, and that's got to be going on a decade at this point. Well, even more than that, probably, because I would have been on the air in Omaha still, I think. So I don't know. I tell you what, I did have to work it last year. It was a part of the radio station I was working for. In fact, humble brag, it was the first thing that I had ever like went and achieved as like a dude who was representing a radio station, if I may. I said, you know what? I was at the time a director of programming, a program director, and a morning show host. And so I was in charge of getting the word out about the damn station. And so I went into the office right before they were setting up this thing called Baseball Village. This spot is super cool. So there's a bar. There's two bars I'm going to talk about here tonight in the show. That when it comes to the College World Series, they are integral. Integral. That's a hard word to say. Integral. There's an R in there somewhere. A couple of them. Could I cut it? Yes, I could just easily start again. No. No, that's a no. That's a definite no. But two bars that I want to talk about. One of them is the Old Mattress Factory. Now, it's a beautiful bar inside and out, but what they were smart about is they've got this huge parking lot that's like triple the size of the footprint for the bar itself, right? But it's a place where they can have an outdoor concert. It's a huge stage. Thousands and thousands of people go into this. And then on top of that, they have an entire area they call Baseball Village. So the old map becomes Baseball Village. And so there's vendors and there's games and prizes and da-da-da-da-da. And then there's all these radio stations for the former company I used to work with. They've got the official licensing with the College World Series to broadcast it. And so they'll be on site, right, in this building that they've got. Again, a second whole building that's on the footprint of this place, the Old Mattress Factory. But I walked in right as they're setting things up. And I'm like, hey, introduce myself. I'm Guy from a radio station. Because up to that point, I'd just been some idiot that talked on the radio. But I went in and I secured us a booth. And not only a booth, but I got us a booth that didn't cost us anything, cost us some advertising, right? But I had access to the Baseball Village the entire time. And I was I was sharing booth space essentially with Baseball Village. So they were like a destination spot. Couldn't have been any better. Okay? Couldn't have been any better. But man, it was hot. And then I got almost zero backup from the company. And that was frustrating a little bit, if we're being honest. I don't badmouth any of my former companies. You know what I mean? I've loved all of the places that I've worked. I've loved the people that I've worked with. But just like you and me, if we're just kind of complaining in a back room where no one else can hear us, yeah, it was a little frustrating that it was me and one of my oldest friends in broadcast, Julie. We were kind of just left to do it. And they had higher priorities. And, you know, some of the other talent wasn't going to be able to make. That's what you call a guy on the radio. To call him talent now. We're not DJs. But our flagship station at that company, they were elderly. Okay, they were old guys. Okay, they were legends, some of the best in the business to do it. But they were old. They weren't coming out in the heat, and they weren't going to support the small station. We were the kid brother, so I get it. I'm coming at this more from a chip on my shoulder than anything else. But so that's about the only good thing I have going for me in being unemployed right now is that I don't have to work the damn College World Series. And my best friend, roommate, longtime collaborator, Cam, he does. So he's out there like already today. The series doesn't start till tomorrow. And already he's been out there working his ass off. So, you know what? Shout for just a moment. Let's just shout out Cam. Shout out Cam. Woo! Love that guy. Holly checking in on TikTok. Says, howdy, Dollface. What are you doing, Holly? What are you doing in on the live on TikTok? You can get in on That's Just Nelson on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. We got you covered every night, Sunday through Thursday. We broadcast the show live in an uncensored format even, too. So if you like the F word a lot, you won't have to hear it with the old, as you're listening to it on the Apple or the Spotify. I do it that way for a reason. That way, much like a radio show, this used to be a radio show. That's why the hashtag you use is 2 bars. This used to be a radio show. TU, number 2, BARS. I'd appreciate that if you're typing it in that you would make all of those capitals except for the A. That's just a stylizing choice that, you know, if you're really going to be a 2-bar, then you just fall in line. But the reason why I make it like a censored to a degree. Now, listen, I've had a couple of guests and I have not censored my guests. Is that because I'm making a choice or is it because I was lazy? I'll let you decide on that one. But I try to keep the language clean because much like a radio show, I want you to be able to like listen to this podcast when anyone's around. You know, if you're going to listen to it in the car, I listen to podcasts in the car. So I listen to podcasts like I listen to radio. Like, I very rarely am I just like at the house, like, you know what I'm going to do? Put on a podcast. I like to consume podcasts the way I would consume radio growing up. So sometimes you can't always consume that with little kids around if it's going to be, you know, guys operating blue. So much like a radio station targeting women 18 to 49, where, listen, the only difference between broadcasting to women and men, let me let you in on a secret. Men, if you didn't know this, women are nasty. Women have the filthiest minds. Women talk about the dirtiest stuff between women. The problem is that men don't seem to understand is women like their filthy a little bit educated, a little bit elevated. You got to wrap it up in a little bit of, I don't know, you want a little presentation. Just because it's nasty doesn't mean you got to give it to me raw, dude. To keep food safety standards below 40 or above 140. That's the secret. Some guys have figured that out. But, you know, I treat it like you might have kids in the car. Is that a stupid idea? I don't know. What do I know? I'm a white guy with a microphone. Holly says, I thought you were going to say women listen. That's also true. That is also 100% true. Look at this, Holly double dipping. She said, not only on TikTok, I found you on Facebook too. And that's what we like. We stan a multi-platform queen. Be like Holly. So here's how it goes. The other bar in town that's like a go-to, I've heard, because I haven't actually been to this bar. I just like to watch it on social media. This is maybe one of the most genius marketing campaigns that has ever existed. Ever existed. So it's a place called Rocco's Pizza and Cantina, and they're right next to the stadium, right next to Charles Schwab. And in 2019, Pat McAvoy, the manager, he started a challenge. It's just a Jell-O shot challenge, okay? And what it is all of the teams that are in town for the College World Series. So for us, we're talking about Coastal Carolina, Arizona, Oregon State, Louisville, UCLA, Duke, Arkansas, and maybe the most important team that ever runs through Omaha when it comes to the NCAA College World Series, and that team is LSU. LSU, baby. I don't know much about baseball, but I know we want LSU in the College World Series because LSU fans travel like. So for me, I'm from Nebraska, right? This is where I broadcast out of. I'm in a city called Omaha, Nebraska. And I lay that out because I know that 50% of my audience originates in Atlanta, Georgia. So in Omaha, that's the biggest city we have in the state, right? It's in the immediate area. There's 1 million people, just shy of 1 million people. When you factor in Council Bluffs, which is right across the river in Iowa. Yeah, Arkansas, get them Razorbacks. I like Arkansas too. I'll give an Arkansas fan. Holly mentioned in the Arkansas in the house, but I'll take a Razorback fan because some of the best fan groups that travel across the country for baseball, Florida. I love a Florida fan. Now for football, Florida can go fuck itself. Okay, and yeah, they can because Florida is awful when it comes to football. So what I was kind of setting up is in Nebraska, there's one college system basically, and in Lincoln, the capital, which is 45 miles away, that's where UNL is, University of Nebraska Lincoln, and that would be the Huskers. Like if you've heard about anything from Nebraska, it's probably Husker football, right? At least sports wise. Okay. So when the Huskers were in, like, we would go to the Orange Bowl and Florida fans would throw oranges at us, like at fans and at players. Like, go screw yourself, Florida. But when it comes to this shot challenge, it just blows me away. I've tried to figure out a way to take this shot challenge and like to distill it down to the raw center of it and then use it in other places because it's absolutely genius. Here's what happens. This Rocco's, they have a big whiteboard and it's got all of the teams that have come to town. And you're going to bet on whether or not your team is going to win by buying a Jell-O shot in the honor of your team. These Jell-O shots, I think, are going for $5 a Jell-O shot. Okay. The last time LSU was in town, they made history. It was in 2023. The Tigers made history on the diamond by winning their 7th national championship. But they also made history at Rocco's by setting the current record. Now, keep in mind, the College World Series goes on for what, like 2 weeks? It's like two weeks, okay? The current record of 68,888 Jell-O shots. It's 10 days is what it is. Excuse me, just shy of 2 weeks. 60, and that's just LSU's shots. That's just the stuff you're getting from them. Like the insanity of the kind of money, the kind of just just in LSU alone, 68,000. It's a 5. 68,000. What did I say? I've got too many tabs open. 68,888. Right? You take that times $5. Just from LSU fans alone, the bar pulls in $344,440. All right? Oh, Holly with the heart puff on TikTok. You send in a gift on any of the live streams, and you know you're going to get shouted out. Oh, with the heart puffs. Dustin in with the tiny dinies. Stars over on Facebook. Man, we're finally going to turn this into a real empire. And I appreciate you for that. It's not going to be a 68,000 Jell-O shot empire yet, but we're working on it. So what do you figure? What's a Jell-O shot cost to me? Let's say a Jell-O shot costs $1 with labor and the cost of the Jell-O shot. Even if you're buying the Jell-O shots pre-made from some other company, there's no way that the overhead on the Jell-O shot is more than $1 from counter to pocket from counter to mouth. No, I'm getting to that, Cam. You're saying that in the background. You got to let a guy get to that part. I'm building. Guy's building. He's sweaty. He's just sweaty. He's just so sweaty. He's been out of this College World Series. So Cam, giving away the ending to the story here, this is the other piece of it that's genius. So of all of the fan bases, he will take a percentage of the money, of the profit. They will take a percentage of the profit, and then they will donate that to charities, local food banks in the areas of these places. So in Louisiana, there is going to be tens of thousands of dollars that are dumped back into their economy for this. But if it's just $1, 344,000 minus 68, minus 68,888. That's over $250,000 just on LSU fans alone. It's incredible to see this board at Rocco's get run up. And it just makes you proud of the area that you're from. That one of ours could come up with that. And that they would be so like forward thinking, because it would still be big. I'm telling you, just with the board alone, okay, just like the marker board, that as it goes across social media, like that's enough to get people to come in and buy. It's already so close to the stadium that it benefits from that. They do not have to give any of this money back, and they will still print money. Giving back or not, LSU fans will still buy 68,000 shots, right? So like that year, $5 a shot. Florida sold 4,000 shots. TCU sold 7,000. Wake Forest, 7,600. Now, some of these are also benefited by the fact that if your team stays in towards the end, what's a friendship neck? Okay, there's all sorts of gifts I've never even seen, Ollie. Wake Forest, if your team makes it deeper into the tournament, then obviously your team has a better shot at selling Jell-O shots. Oral Roberts sold 3,300. Virginia sold 872. Stanford, Virginia, you need to step up. 912 from Stanford. Boo. Tennessee, this is again the year that LSU set the record. Tennessee, 2,200 Jell-O shots, and LSU 68,888 Jell-O shots. So to Rocco's, we tip our hat. To everybody that's in town, listen, I'm being snarky, okay? We love having people come to Omaha. We love sharing this place with people. That's one thing that you'll hear about. Like if you're not from, let's say you're not from the South and you're not from the Midwest, you're from some other place in the country. It's very easy to get confused because you always hear about Southern hospitality, right? But Southern hospitality and people from the South, as my dancing, cheering crab goes over my head from Holly on TikTok, Southern hospitality has a bite to it, okay? There's a lot of nice people in the South, but Southern hospitality is like, bless your heart, which is, you're an idiot. Go ahead, dummy. Oh, bless your heart. Midwest nice is a little different. It's just built a little different, man. It's just making sure we're always holding the door open for, like we're fighting each other to hold the door open for the other one at the gas station, right? We're talking to each other out in public. When we pick up that you're not from here, we want to know where you're from. We want to tell you all about the great stuff that happened here. And I get that this is generic. Like a lot of people like doing this, okay? But it's like an art form, especially in Nebraska. I'll fall back on Nebraska nice all day long. I love being in Nebraska. I don't know why. Because a lot of who I am doesn't line up with a big piece of this state, but God dang it if I don't love Nebraska. If I don't love Omaha, this is my town. I am the king of this town. Nobody knows it yet, but I am, okay? I am. Mark my words. I will overthrow anyone in this town. Media, politicians, retail outlets, I don't know. You're looking at the king. So when people are coming in and people are bringing in, especially bringing in your dollars, oh my God, shout out all of the good money that you are going to spend while you are in town. So everybody who is kind of floating in, if you got somebody coming into the College World Series, I would say, show them this podcast. Does it start off in the beginning with me just crapping all over baseball? Yeah. Yeah, it does. You want a little help cracking an obsession Well, you've gone to the right guy. Okay. If you need something obsessed over, I can do it. But I finally had a parting of the clouds, and I want to share some of that good fortune with you. And maybe my tragedy becomes your triumph. There it is. There it is.
You're listening to That's Just Nelson.
Nelson.
That's just Nelson.
It's just Nelson, but that's all right. I think AI wrote that, so we'll give him a pass. That's just Nelson. 402-302-1005. That's the number for the show, or the soon to be launched. That's just Nelson.com. At this point, I don't even want to build the website. I think it's just so much more fun to just say that it's in progress. Ramona getting in on the live broadcast at That's Just Nelson on TikTok. It happens on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. If you're consuming this on Apple and Spotify, then you're getting the censored version, is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. We record Sunday nights through Thursday nights, which is nice because I have got plans for a Friday night because, yes, it is time for my mandatory mentioning of CrossFit. Yeah, CrossFit. God almighty, I love CrossFit. I am all the way in. Did I join CrossFit out of spite? You're sure? You bet your ass I did. Okay. I'm in it because I love it now, though. I can't wait to go. Like I'm excited to go tomorrow. I'm thinking when I'm not at CrossFit, I'm thinking about CrossFit. Okay. And I don't know why. Because I have worked out before. I have done all of this. With a former coworker, maybe I've even said this already a couple times. Listen, you're going to hear me repeat a lot of stuff, so just strap in. But one of my closest friends, a guy named Gary, I worked with him for 10 years. Holly, you do need to get into CrossFit. It's great. And listen, I am so out of shape. I'm big boy. Ooh, I'm big boy. I'm getting smaller boy, but I'm big boy. There's modifications for everything. The only thing you need to do when you go into CrossFit is make sure that you don't try and measure yourself against other people, because you could be a knucklehead and then you can try and go too ham. If you're just in CrossFit for the community and for what you can do to better yourself, I think you're really gonna love it. Okay, because as I'm saying, I worked out heavy. At one point, I could bench press 225 pounds. It was like once or twice, but God almighty, could you do it? Not a lot of people can say that. I got myself up to that point, unassisted. I could bench 225 pounds. I think twice was the best I did in any setting, but it was over a handful of times. And then I just got out of it. Every day, the only reason I would go to the gym is because I didn't want to hear it from Gary when I didn't go to the gym. Every day now, when I'm thinking about, when I'm leaving CrossFit, I'm thinking about going back to CrossFit. I just want to be better. I want to be healthy. I want to be around for, my kids. Holly, you got to if you're missing out on the live streams, you got to step it up, dude. Just check it one time. Or go back and watch it. The replays are there. You'll be able to see the video if you want to see this smiling face. I did a bunch of measurements today, right? So, because I forgot to take measurements in the very beginning. I had from when I was doing 75 hard, if you've been in the podcast for a while. When I was doing 75 hard, I was still, I took a bunch of pictures. So as I'm losing weight, it'll be fine for that. Push yourself and not worry about who's around. You know what, Holly? There's not been one time I've seen anyone else in a 20-person deep class look my way. I guess 20 is probably a lot. I think I'm going to class with 15 people. The two classes that I've been frequenting have been right around 15 people. And not one of them has ever looked my way. Unless you are actively trying to engage with someone else, everybody's paying attention to their own stuff. They got their own personal records, their own PRs they're trying to get into. But the Friday night plans that I have is there is a social. There's a CrossFit mixer that's happening, and so I am going to go out to the CrossFit mixer. I am excited to see the mixing of the other people and to meet other people from the gym and just to get more ingrained in this community, which is only going to help further my spiteful goal of becoming the most well-known and loved fixture of the CrossFit community in Omaha. I joined CrossFit out of spite. My previous girlfriend, who just was this, it was a wild romance. Okay, there you can go back if you really want to hear the whole unpacking of it. Then you got to go back a couple of weeks to the Friday that I did the State of the Nelson address. Okay, so I'll revisit a little bit of it, but it was just I was big feelings. Okay, big feelings, and Daddy was too much. Okay, so I came on a little too strong. I wasn't operating in a vacuum, but that's not what this is about. Okay, I felt justified, and I felt like I was having those feelings returned to me, and then the rug was pulled out from under me, right? And that has been a hard thing to move past because I get obsessed, right? So one of the things that I did first was like she was in CrossFit, and I was already trying to make myself better anyway. Before I met her, I had bought I'm buying a workout equipment. I've got a rowing machine. I'm just trying to do better. I'm just trying to increase my life, right? And increase how long I'm going to be on the planet. And so then I meet her, and then that only helps to further accelerate because then she's like, oh, this is a good way you can get protein in. And I learned a ton of stuff from her. Oh my God, I learned from her. In fact, one time, I felt so stupid. Because, I was complimentary and I wanted her to know how beautiful I thought she was and that she just everything. And then up to that point, I had never had a connection with like I had with her. All right. So, and I can admit that. Okay. But one of the things she was talking about was the CrossFit, right? And she goes, well, listen, I'll support you and I'll help you find a gym and I want you to be healthy. But when it comes to the CrossFit, I don't want to immediately mix you into my gym. I don't want you coming to my gym because my gym is my safe place. My gym is my holy arena. And you know what? Now that I have a gym, I respected it before. I feel it in my bones. Now, that's how I feel about the Fit Farm when I go out there. Did I find them because they are geographically the farthest I could find away from my ex-girlfriend's CrossFit gym? Yes. Okay. Now, that being said, when you're obsessed and you can't get over someone, what are some of the things, the traps you fall into, right? You fall into you're constantly checking them on social media or what, blah, 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 blah. So one of the first things that I did when it was over, right, was I blocked my ex on everything. And it was more so I wouldn't go and obsess about this person because I have a habit of doing that, of like, I'm going to check your social media. And I'm like, I'm the one who shows up in your story. I don't care. Like, it's bad. It's not good. One thing I had done was she actually gave me an idea. So when we had for a moment, just a quick breakup, right? This is so whirlwind. I wasn't happy, and then I immediately regretted that choice, and she took me back, right? But before she took me back, I had messaged, because I didn't think I was going to talk to her or anybody else again. I had messaged a friend of hers that had a nice, polite conversation with me about my autistic son. She was a speech pathologist, and I just messaged her on Instagram before I unfollowed, like, hey, I know you're probably not going to see this or whatever. I just wanted to say thank you for the kind words and the stuff that you gave me for my son. And I really that was it. It was just there was no ulterior motives, right? And then that got thrown in my face first. It was, don't message my friends. That's manipulative. And I go, I didn't think it was. Well, give me an idea, okay? Because a friend of hers, her best friend, doesn't live here, and she followed me immediately. As soon as we started dating, she started following me, listening to the radio show I was on, all this stuff. And it was a best friend that I got to meet eventually before the relationship was over. And so I didn't delete her from social media. And then every once in a while, I'd like one of his friends' posts, or I'd make a comment because I knew what I was doing at that point because she taught me this is how you don't teach a guy a new skill, teach a man to fish, right? Never be hungry ever again. So I started talking about that in therapy. I was like, God, I've got to get past this, right? I got to get past this. I think I need to just delete the friend. And she goes, that's healthy. You should do that. I go, okay, I'm going to do that. But I struggled and I couldn't stop myself. I struggled. Okay. I struggled because should I just delete this person and then go away like a normal person should? Or do I leave and I send a message, right? And I couldn't help myself. I couldn't help myself. I couldn't help myself. And so I did. I sent a message. And, you know, that was therapeutic. Being able to do that was like, oh, finally, you've let go of the one thing that the two of you, like the one piece that was connecting the two of you at this point, right? Because like I posted the clip a long time ago about how I'm gonna let you all the way into my crazy, and I don't care, okay? Because if you have done any one of these things, just know you're not alone, all right? You don't have to tell anybody about it. Holly says that's exactly what I do. Is she going in just watching? I'm watching that story. Or is it blocked? Maybe I didn't catch when she saw it. Probably she blocks people, is my guess. Because she's healthy. So I said, I gotta cleanse this. Let's get rid of this, right? So I said I was gonna be honest this time. Okay? Because I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be realer, better dude, a better dad, a better man, better father. Just dad and father are the same thing. Just all around. Soon to be a better partner, whatever. Like all of these things I'm trying to put together. So I said, hey, I just want to say thanks for being kind to me. I'm going to remove you as a friend. I'm sorry. I was really using your page in some stupid 6th grade ploy to get her attention. Of course, because I'm too chicken-ass to say the person's name. That's how you know that someone has got me. Like, this is something I just realized about myself. Is I'm too much of a chicken to say the name of someone when it comes to like big feelings about them. If I'm talking about them to someone else, I won't. I'll just avoid saying them at all. I said, hey, I was using your page in a stupid 6th grade ploy to get her attention. For what? I don't know. I said, personally, I'd rather you not tell her I reached out to you because I don't want to hear crap from her later in case she does drop into unblock me on everything. Because I blocked her, and then I was like, oh, I can't do it. I'll unblock her. She double blocked. She did a block back. So that helped out. She blocked your boy, right? I said, listen, whether you do or don't, it's not like this woman's going to hate me any more than she apparently does. Because that's the worst part of it is like, you just can't give me a reason. I don't even care if it's a crap reason. Just give a reason. Blame me, all right? But say it so I can hear it, right? It's the not knowing, right? It's the not knowing, exactly. I said, thanks again. And then there was just something else. I was like, oh, tell your husband if he needs anything from his comic book store. Because he was a comic book guy, and that's how we bonded. I thought I had a pretty good thing going there. You know, I've lost a girlfriend and a best friend. Knowing that this person's never going to message me back or whatever, because I don't need him to. So then, of course, I'm thinking about it. I go, well, I wonder what else. Like, the point I was making about the clip I posted, when I talked about telling the Fit Farm, my CrossFit gym, that I joined their gym because they were geographically located the farthest away from my ex-girlfriend's CrossFit gym. I posted that clip to LinkedIn because I knew it was one of the only places that she hadn't stopped following me, and 2 days later, blocked. Petty and spiteful have been such a bad thing for my life, and I'm trying to turn over a new leaf, but man, if these women don't bring it out in me, dude. That was misogynist. I hate myself for even saying it. Not women. I just mean the people I've dated. There's nothing wrong with women. Women are powerful and wonderful and can run fast. You know what I mean? Love women. I just apparently am only drawn to women who will hurt me. I don't like pain, physical pain. I'm not a physical masochist. I'm a soul masochist. Could you just tear out everything that I have at my core? Thank you very much. But this was finally, this was the thing I had been waiting for. The thing that was like the last straw to get whatever hangover this was broken off of me. I feel like I've had weighted training clothes lifted off of me, and I can now get into a real battle. And that was, I went and looked because when we were together, we had each of us had a couple of playlists that we had shared on Spotify, right? One of them I had created, and it was sad. It wasn't sad. It was like lovey-dovey, sappy songs. That's just the music that she was super into, right? And so I deleted that playlist. I mean, just immediately. I didn't block her, but I deleted the playlist. This is all stupid. These are the mind games you play with yourself, right? So I deleted that playlist. I showed her, okay? But she had the hip hop playlist, okay? Now, this hip hop playlist, it's a pretty good playlist, okay? If we're really breaking things down, solid playlist of just concentrated hip hop bangers. Okay. She made this particular playlist and then added me as a collaborator when we were dating. She put 2 songs onto this mother father. Okay. Just 2. And then I go, oh, this is the kind of music you want? Because listen, this is the kind of music I listen to. And then I proceeded to fill this playlist with 6 hours of bangers. Bangers. So after this, as I release the friend, and I go, I'm just got to move on. This is not where my life is going. My life is going in a much better direction now. And just, I see, okay, the playlist hasn't been deleted. That's interesting. I would have thought she would have deleted it, especially as in retribution to the playlist that I had, right? Then, like a psychopath, I go, okay, well, we're still also following each other. Like her, so I'm allowed to follow her. I don't know who she's following. I don't care. But she's got 3 playlists that you can see, right? If you didn't know this, you can go to people's Spotify's and see playlists that they have that are public. Top playlist called Hip Hop Jams. And I go into it, and I go, Super Bass, Nicki Minaj, Big Energy, Lotto. That looks suspiciously like the 2 songs that she contributed to the last playlist that we put together. And then 6 hours of cultivated hip-hop bangers. Are you fucking kidding me? You're gonna break a guy's heart, and then you're gonna steal my playlist? I didn't even get a thank you. God. But it was what I needed. Oh my God, it was what I needed. I feel free. Enjoy that Kevin Gates. Enjoy the peaches and cream. You weren't listening to 112 before I showed up. You weren't getting it taken care of the way I was either, so whatever. That was not my stuff. Keep it about the playlist. Not about from the back. There's a movie sequel. Oh, there's a movie sequel I could have not ever even thought was going to come out. And a bunch more that you might not know about. And then one that was AI and is not happening. And I hate to break it to you, but I'm going to when we come back.
That's just Nelson.
It's time. It's time. It's time. Peanut butter Nelly time. Peanut butter Nelly time.
What?
You're listening to That's Just Nelson.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on. Let's go.
Let's go indeed. Finally. I was not burned by the internet. None of us were burned by the internet. You know, you see it on Facebook. You see all of these movies that are coming out. What? Sequels? But they're not real. The one that broke my heart and the heart of a close friend of mine was there was a fake movie poster that went out that said they were making a full length, not like a made for sci-fi, but they were going to make a sequel to the movie Tremors, and that Kevin Bacon was back. And it looked so real. It was bull that it wasn't real. And for a brief moment, because the source that I saw sharing this story, it wasn't reputable on the Facebook page, right? So I go, I can't get my hopes up. I can't get my hopes up. And then I go to deadline.com and I see the headline. Bill Pullman and Rick Moranis are coming back for a Spaceballs 2. And I don't care if it's garbage. I don't care if it's an awful pile of trash, because you can't have Mog. What wasn't that John Candy's character's name? I'm a dog. Half man, half dog. What's his name? Barf. Barf. How do I forget Barf's name? I used to call a guy at Midas that I worked at, the mechanic, I called him Barf. Because his name was Brett, but nobody called him Brett. They called him Bert and Bart and Bort. And I got in, I said, Barf. I called his wife Barf wife, and they ran with that. Yeah, Barf. Barf. That's what it is. He is a Mog. Barf is a Mog. Half man, half dog. I'm my own best friend. So yes, you're not going to have John Candy, right? You're not going to have Joan Rivers. Will they try and bring that character back, though? I don't know. Maybe they'll move on completely. But what you will have is Rick Moranis, which is worth its weight in gold. If you're not familiar, if you go, damn, where the hell Rick Moranis been? Right? If you've been around for a while and you're going, Rick Moranis, now that I come to think of it, I haven't seen Rick Moranis in anything, have I? No, you haven't. Because Rick Moranis is the best human that ever lived. Okay? Rick Moranis spent all of his life, young adult life and adult life till he became a father, he spent chasing a dream of acting. Working in Second City and making bits and eventually coming to the height of his fame with Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. He was in Ghostbusters, right? Both the Ghostbusters. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Honey, I Blew Up the Kids. The Honey series itself defined the 90s. Defined it. I think about it every time I walk by a Little Debbie snack cake. It doesn't even have to be the oatmeal cream pie, dude. Just any Little Debbie will do you. Little Deb will do you. Okay? Rick Moranis' wife died. He's at the pinnacle of his career. The thing that they say an overnight success is 20 years in the making, he had been slaving, essentially. I'm sure he got paid at some points. I'm sure he made some good money from Ghostbusters or whatever, But like the dream is to be this star, right? You've worked this hard to do this. You're going to be a star. He's a billable star. He could get any family comedy movie he wanted. We could have had 20 years of Rick Moranis. His wife died. He left Hollywood. He goes, you know what? I got all the money that I need. My wife is gone. I'm going to raise my kids. I'm going to raise my kids outside of Hollywood, and I'm not going to look back. I'm not going to look back. I don't have to. This is enough for me. And to me, that's just so beautiful. Because I'm a D-bag who hosts a podcast, who's been on the radio for 20 years. And I love radio so much. I love this broadcasting. And I don't make anywhere near the money that Rick Moranis ever made in just one of his crappy projects. But you know what I mean? I'm still doing a podcast for no money right now because I love broadcast that much. So to step away from something that is your passion, sure, it's great that it makes money, but that it is your very core, to me, is incredible. So regardless of the content of Spaceballs 2, that Rick Moranis and Bill Pullman are back, that's enough for me. It's enough that we get Rick Moranis. Because what I would love, I've talked about this too, I'm for remakes, man. I am. I don't mind them. Now, a lot of them aren't any better, but I mean, people have been covering songs for years. I remember growing up, but when you found out songs weren't written by other people and you're like, what? That was a song from the 70s? So I've been desperate to see a remake of Little Shop of Horrors. I don't know why they haven't remade it yet. It seems like a perfect fit for now. You know what I mean? And you could have Rick Moranis in that, playing a different character. Or make a sequel to that. I don't care. That not 48 Hours. What was the other one? Beverly Hills Cop? That new Beverly Hills Cop is fire. If you didn't watch it, Beverly Hills Cop 4 maybe, it did all the things it needed to do. It got it out before that one guy died. It had Judge Reinhold. It had everything. It hit all of the old beats and then set it up so that they can make new ones. Okay? I am for returning back to properties. I'm for like doing James Bond style. Like the next headline you hear about Bruce Willis is that sadly he is going to pass. You know what I mean? I don't know when that's going to happen, but you don't hear about him anymore because he can't talk. We're not going to have another Die Hard. They tried to make other guy the new Die Hard guy. Don't do that. Just recast John McClane. Make it a big deal. Uh-oh, he's outlived his role as John McClane. We got to get a new John McClane. And it doesn't have to be like, I get why 007 they could say it, because technically that's not that spy's name. It's his code name, James Bond. His code name isn't 007. His code name is 007 James Bond, okay? I don't care. Of all the other crap and weird continuity errors I've accepted, I do not care. Just make it, this guy's the new John McClane. And I'm in. But I pulled up a list because I'm like, okay, so if Spaceballs 2 just got announced, what other things am I missing out on? What other things don't I know about? And this list is April 24th, so I'm a little late on it, right? But you can't know everything. How about this? Let's go through this list of sequels that you might not have known were coming out. Rush Hour 4. Absolutely. Chris Tucker. I'll take Chris Tucker anytime. Come on, man. I love Chris Tucker. And I will watch anything with Jackie Chan in it. Okay, I'm not even like a big kung fu movie guy, but you want a really great movie with Jackie Chan from back in the day, go watch Drunken Master. You're going to love it. Of course, you got to have Avatar, Fire and Ash. I think a lot of people know that. I'm excited for an Avatar. I am. I like the Avatar movies, but I'm not like Rush Hour, Kick-Ass, let's go high-five each other. I am on this one, though. National Treasure 3. Thank you. Oh, my God. Yes! Re-steal the Declaration of Independence. I don't care what you do with it. Give me Nicolas Cage in anything. There are a handful of actors that I will literally go out of my way to watch them in, okay? Jackie Chan, he just has to be swimming by me. I'm not actively seeking out Jackie Chan, but I'll watch anything that he's in. Nicolas Cage, you tell me there's a Nicolas Cage movie out, I'm going to find it. I never watched Freaky Friday, so I'm not excited for Freakier Friday, but I'm excited for Jamie Lee Curtis and for Lindsay Lohan to share the stage. So I'll give them a ding. I don't think we're going to go crowd applause, but I'll give them the ding. Toy Story 5. Does anyone care about Toy Story anymore? To me, and this is not Toy Story's fault, but to me, the pinnacle of Toy Story technology was I didn't watch Toy Story 3 until it was out on DVD or whatever. I don't know what you call it now, Blu-ray. You wouldn't call it DVD. Do they even call it Blu-ray anymore? Available to stream. And my ex-wife and I, we watched Toy Story 3 for the first time, high on mushrooms. And at the end of Toy Story 3, if you don't know, spoiler alert, there's a moment where they're all about to be thrown into a trash burning compactor, basically. Like, it's just a giant fire. And there's a long pause as you look at all of the toys. There's just a moment, right? And when you're on mushrooms, it's a very emotional experience, okay? It's not necessarily so psychedelic as it is. It touches your heartstrings deeper than you knew your heartstrings could go. And even though it's a Toy Story movie and it's for kids, they hold that long shot as right before those toys are about to be burned to death. They hold that so long, if you were on magic mushrooms, you would honestly believe they were about to annihilate this entire cast. They look at each other, they sigh, they hold hands, and then resign themselves to die. And then all of a sudden, and that's the lowest low to the highest high, I promise you, okay? You cannot recreate that. So Toy Story 5, boo. Toy Story 5 is boo. I don't like that. I don't like it. I don't want to hear Ice Age 6 either because I'm so freaking sick of Ice Age because of my kid. Don't crowd. Thank you. Ice Age 6 is coming out. There's a new Avengers movie coming out. But that was the one where it was supposed to be the one guy and then he was kind of falsely accused or like dropped in a wrong way. Got hosed, I think. So Avengers Doomsday is coming out. Here's one I will knock an old lady down to go see in the theaters because I love this series of movies. Incredibles 3. Absolutely. Frozen 3. It's no need to crap on Frozen. Frozen is a good set of movies for what it is. Okay? Give me an Encanto 2. Okay? Forget Frozen 10. Give me Encanto 2. That's what I want. But I'll settle for Sister Act 3. Are you kidding? Whoopi! Oh my God, I love Whoopi. Aladdin 2? Yeah, Aladdin 2, that's good, right? And not the direct-to-DVD, not the direct-to-VHS sequel that they did back in the day. I wonder then if is Will Smith going to reprise? Because that was the big deal back in the day. Disney would crank out sequels to their major motion pictures, but then they would be like taking the Croods to Netflix. So you don't have any of the original voice actors. Like Nicolas Cage isn't playing Kronk or whatever. Kronk is not the dad. That's the kid. It doesn't matter. So Robin Williams famously was not in the second Aladdin because he only signed up to do the first Aladdin if they promised not to do sequels. This one doesn't do anything for me, but I understand it does something for a lot of people. The Princess Diaries 3 is coming out, so I'll give that a crowd applause on that. It's just a great time, I think, for sequels. Cruella 2, I didn't know there was a Maleficent 2. There's a Maleficent 3 coming out. I didn't watch Megan, but I think I would watch Megan 2.0. It's the one where it's like a robot doll. Because it's very much like Terminator. Megan, the first Megan movie, she's trying to kill everybody, all the good people. Now there's another robot that Megan needs to come back and fight. This one's going to be really cute. Zootopia 2, I'm just finding out about that. I think all of us know about Happy Gilmore 2. If not, it's on its way. And Shrek 5. Boo. Don't bury the lead? Well, we did. But we didn't. It's coming up.
That's just Nelson.
Pretty good fucking show today, dude, for being honest. I do say so myself. Uh-oh.
Hold up, homie.
That's just
Stop right there.
Nelson.
Don't bury the lead. What you trying to do? Don't bury the lead. Just stop.
Big news in the Witherspoon household. Reese posted a photo with her daughter, Ava, and folks say they look identical. I mean, right, shocking. When your mom is Reese Witherspoon, you don't end up looking like Steve Buscemi. But it gets better. People are saying Ava's boyfriend looks just like her dad, Ryan Philippe, which is weird because if you look like your mom and you date someone who looks like your dad, that's not a relationship. That's a reboot. A new study warns that too much olive oil, now they're coming for your olive oil. Too much olive oil could actually make you fat. Turns out all the healthy fats come with a little bit of baggage. Apparently olive oil is recruiting fat cell soldiers. That's what science has said, which sounds more like a Netflix series that nobody asked for. They say, cut back. Because if your salad dressing is pumping you up like Popeye, maybe it's time to switch to the steamed kale. You know what I mean? Keira Knightley recently said her time in Pirates series, Pirates of the Caribbean, was a double-edged sword. Huge commercial success, sure, but critics thought she was a terrible actress. And to add to the drama, she felt trapped, playing the fantasy of every pirate's wet dream. It's like being handed a golden ticket, but it comes with unpaid rent. But what's a better FU than to grab the Oscar nod at 20? Huh? I think she got the last laugh. And lastly, Apple has unveiled at this year's Worldwide Developers Conference, they have invented time travel. Oh, you don't believe it? Then explain to me how they debuted, air quotes, decade-old Android features for the new iPhone that people are now unironically calling revolutionary. Please tell me more about how kick-ass green bubbles are, though. That's Just Nelson. Across social media, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch is where you can watch the whole program happen live, Sunday night to Thursday night. Otherwise, you're consuming on Apple and Spotify, and I love you for it. Go ahead and drop a like, maybe a comment, a subscribe, and if you got a little bit of time, maybe a 5-star review. Just a review, even. I'm not greedy. Take your pills. Take them, man. Take them. They're working. There's a reason why you're feeling good. It's called Better Living Through Pharmacology, okay? You can't do it on your own, and that's cool. It's cool. You need the help. I need the help. I take that Wellbutrin every day. I look forward to it. Num, num, num. It's Daddy's Mind Mints. Check on your happy friends, and if you're going to go out and do a little fun, if you're going to go have some shots at Rocco's while you're in Omaha, grab an Uber, huh? I'll catch you. I'll catch you in the next episode. Debuting Monday, record it Sunday night.
That's Just Nelson. This used to be a radio show presentation.
I'm Penny Nelson.
My name is Rowan Nelson.
Thank you for listening to this show.
Thanks for listening to the show.
Have a good day and have an awesome day.
I love you too.
All right, everybody. Appreciate you.